Welcome to Royal Secrets. It was the moment Denmark had long anticipated but could never have fully prepared for, an electrifying shift in royal dynamics that unfolded not with the distant echo of tradition but with a roaring thunder of destiny. As the ancient oak doors of the Christianborg Palace creaked open, history was not only remembered, it was reborn. Crown Prince Christian, heir to the Danish throne and the firstborn son of King Frederik X and Queen Mary, stepped into his future with the poise of a sovereign and the fire of a new generation. In a stunning and symbolically charged move, he took part in his very first state council, a gesture that signals far more than ceremonial duty. It was a statement, a bold, irreversible declaration to the world that Denmark is already preparing its next king. This landmark appearance shattered the calm surface of royal protocol and launched a tidal wave of commentary, speculation, admiration, and, for some, even concern. For a monarchy steeped in centuries of Stoic tradition and carefully curated symbolism, the inclusion of Crown Prince Christian in a state council meeting is nothing short of monumental. At just 19 years old, Christian isn't merely a royal figurehead in waiting, he is now an active participant in the very machinery that governs one of Europe's oldest monarchies. And while the palace has tried to frame the move as part of a natural progression, insiders know better. Behind the glamour and photo ops lies a world of political chess, generational change, and carefully orchestrated royal maneuvering. With Queen Margrethe's abdication still fresh in the minds of Danes, and the unexpected pressures faced by the newly enthroned King Frederik and Queen Mary, the timing of Christian's rise has caught many off guard. Yet those closest to the royal family whisper that this was no sudden decision, it was part of a meticulously planned strategy. A calculated elevation designed not only to fortify the monarchy's image in a rapidly changing world but also to begin acclimating the public to the face of Denmark's future king. Observers couldn't help but notice Christian's confident stride as he entered the chamber, clad in a tailored dark suit, his royal insignia gleaming under the golden chandeliers. Every detail was intentional, every look exchanged between father and son told a story of unspoken transition. King Frederik, ever composed yet visibly moved, watched his son with a mixture of paternal pride and sovereign wisdom. Queen Mary, seated with elegance and an almost maternal nervousness, offered a subtle nod that royal watchers were quick to interpret as both reassurance and farewell to a simpler chapter of motherhood. But what truly unfolded inside the hallowed halls of that council meeting is far more compelling than any photograph could capture. For hours, Christian sat among Denmark's most senior political figures, not as a silent observer, but as an official participant. It marked the first time in Danish royal history that a prince so young has stepped so directly into the constitutional processes of state. And according to those present, he did so not with trepidation but with the firm, articulate confidence of someone born for the throne. Sources close to the palace report that Christian was briefed extensively in the days leading up to the council. Every protocol, every legal nuance, every line of potential inquiry was rehearsed. But what impressed attendees most was not his preparation, it was his natural gravitas. He didn't just sit there quietly, one insider revealed. He listened, he nodded at the right moments. He even asked a few thoughtful questions. You could see the ministers doing a double take. This wasn't a boy playing prince. This was a future king learning the ropes, and fast. Reactions from within the political establishment have been mixed, albeit largely respectful. Some see Christian's involvement as a wise and forward-thinking decision, an effort to modernize the monarchy and integrate it more closely with the democratic mechanisms of the nation. Others, however, express quiet reservations. There is a risk, one former cabinet minister said, that by involving the young prince too soon, the royal family may politicize him prematurely. The monarchy's strength has always been its detachment from day-to-day politics. This could blur that line. But perhaps the most poignant reactions have come from the Danish people themselves. Social media erupted within minutes of the news breaking, with hashtags like #PrinceChristian and #RoyalShift trending across platforms. Thousands of Danes, young and old, shared their pride, surprise, and, in some cases, concern about what this all means for the future of their beloved monarchy. "He looks so confident," one user tweeted. "Our future king is ready." Another wrote, "This is too much pressure for someone his age. Let him live a little." Royal analysts, meanwhile, have pointed out that Christian's participation may also be part of a larger European trend. Across the continent, monarchies are facing renewed scrutiny about their relevance, cost, and role in society. In response, many royal families are turning to their younger generations to revitalize public interest and shore up long-term support. What we're seeing is the start of Christian's public monarchy, one expert explained. He's not waiting until Frederik is gone. He's stepping up now, learning, adapting, proving he belongs. And that's smart. Indeed, this generational evolution is not without precedent, but it is the first time that Denmark has enacted such a visible transition so early. Christian's public coming of age has been carefully stage-managed, from his 18th birthday gala at Christiansborg Palace to his recent military training to this extraordinary moment in the State Council. Each event is a brick in the foundation of a future kingship that is already beginning to cast its shadow on the present. Even Queen Mary's recent speeches and public outings seem to have taken on a different tone. While she continues her work with humanitarian causes and mental health advocacy, her focus has increasingly shifted toward preparing Christian for the pressures of leadership. Insiders note that her private conversations with Christian have intensified in both frequency and depth. "She knows what's coming," said one royal biographer, "and she wants him to be ready, not just to rule, but to thrive under the kind of scrutiny and responsibility that most people cannot imagine." Yet for all the polished optics, the reality remains that Christian is still a teenager navigating one of the most complex roles on earth. The expectations placed upon him are nothing short of colossal. Every public word he speaks, every choice he makes, right down to his friendships, his education, and even his dating life, will now be dissected not just by the press but by an entire nation. The burden of visibility, legacy, and destiny has now shifted firmly onto his shoulders. Still, if this historic day is any indication, Crown Prince Christian appears not only capable but willing to carry that weight. And for Denmark, a country that prides itself on quiet strength and understated resilience, his calm command in the State Council may be exactly what is needed in these uncertain times. The story of Crown Prince Christian's first State Council is not just a tale of duty and tradition, it is a glimpse into the future. It is the ignition of a new chapter, a royal metamorphosis in real time. It challenges us to reimagine what monarchy means in the 21st century and dares us to believe that a new kind of king might be rising before our very eyes. But as the echoes of Christian's first steps into royal governance ripple across Denmark and beyond, one gripping question lingers like the final note of a national anthem hanging in the air. Will Crown Prince Christian rise to redefine monarchy for a modern world, or will the world reshape him before he ever reaches the throne? Don't forget to subscribe, like, share, and comment to stay updated on all royal revelations from Denmark and beyond.